This tutorial is to demonstrate some of the layout options used within Elements in Finalsites. So I am going to ensure that I am in Composer mode, and I can ensure that I am in Composer mode by toggling the button on the bottom left corner. And once I'm in Composer mode, I can edit the page in which I would prefer to edit. Now, up until this point in the online module, and if you've had a chance and any experience with Elements, we focused on a lot of content elements. However, there are elements that you can use on a website or on a web page in order to help with formatting or layout. So once I'm in Composer mode, I can select Add an Element. We have focused on the standard elements of content, embed, image, resource, and so on. But there is also a Layout tab to Elements. Now, what this means is that you can add a layout element to a particular formatted website. So I'm looking at one that we kind of created for South Granville High School softball. And the layout that was applied to this page is a thinner column on the left and a thicker column on the right. Now my thicker column on the right, I may want to add a certain type of layout to that. So I can add a 2-column element within this particular resource, or within this particular column. So I have elements, a resource element, a content element, but now I have 2 columns that I can add elements to. So I can add maybe an image element here, I can add maybe a video element here, and they're in this layout of 2 columns on this page. Now, one of the layouts that I really want to highlight, so I'm adding an element, selecting layout, is what we're going to call an accordion. So this here is an accordion element. So I'm going to select it. And now let me highlight what exactly this is. An accordion element is one that you can open additional information for. So here where it says accordion, I have a settings option. This settings option is where I can update the title. So I'm going to say SGHS practice. Okay, I can hide the title or I can keep it there. I can add some items around expanding the first tab is what we're going to call it, tab in the accordion. I can say expand only one tab in the accordion at a time. So I'm just going to select expand first by default and select save. So in my accordion, I can have a number of what we'll call panels. So here is one panel by default. So I can select the settings wheel on the top right and title it maybe panel 1 or tab 1. And this might be something like schedule. So this might be our practice schedule. And I can select save. Now I can add a variety of elements underneath this tab 1. So I might click here. Here is the content element. I can type information in. I can add another element under tab 1, and maybe I want for this to be a calendar element. So I'm going to select calendar, choose settings, and then select one of the calendars. So for here, I might just say, I want South Granville High School's calendar to appear, and select save. Now it's in a list, so I can see that option there, and then I can also edit to say, I want a variety of layouts within this panel. So once I close that panel, I can add another panel or tab, and you will be able to see another arrow appears. I can label this tab or panel 2, and then maybe sportswear or sports gear, and select save. And underneath here is where I can add the elements to go within these tabs or within the accordion. So it's an accordion because they can open and close. So I want to show some examples because the accordion is a great way to place a lot of content on a page but chunk it together. So here is Granville Online's page where the Learning Lab information automatically opens, but if I'm a student looking for some forms, I can open up the forms and then I can also open up the resources. Our student information and student registration website is a website that would have a lot of content on it, and the Accordion Layout lets us allow families to open up items as needed and as they go. So we have our registration forms, we have our forms in Spanish that we can open and close, we have transfer forms, so you can see how an accordion allows a lot of content to be placed on a page and opened as needed. So again, that is the Accordion Layout, or when you add an element using that layout module, you can use some of the variety of columns, and then you can also use the accordion. Now, I'll also share that this tabs option is very similar to the accordion. So I'm going to go ahead and select that. With the tabs option, it is similar to an accordion. However, instead of going down the page, it will go across the page. So here I can edit where it says tabs and say tab practice here. I can toggle this on and off if I want the title to show or not, and select save. Here on the new panel, I might call this panel or tab 1. And this right here, this tab 1, I can add all sorts of elements within it. I can add a tab, and this tab I might call tab 2. And of course, they would be a little bit more detailed, and select save. And then I can add information here within tab 2. You can add however many tabs that you would like here. So let me add one more just to demonstrate how this would look like. And then you add elements below it, and then you can publish that particular page. Now, how does this look on the live site? So let me go ahead and open that up. And then as this is opening, you can see I have my two columns, a thinner one and a thicker one. I have one column over here on the thicker one, then I break up into two. Then I have my accordion that I can open and shut with a variety of information. And then I can also use tabs to click on the tabs and have information shown below. So I'll share an example of some of the tabs. So let me go ahead here. I'm going to go to elementary education. And this particular site used tabs to highlight some of the content areas for K through 5. So you can see we have literacy. I can click on Read to Achieve, and it has particular information. I can click on social studies, science, math, and other information will show. So an accordion or a tab layout or various columns allows for you to format different items as necessary. So please let me know if this is helpful.